Nothing compares to the thrill of discovering the first bone or brick of an ancient skeleton. While making such discoveries can only take a few seconds, fully comprehending the history of ancient ruins, extinct countries, and familiar objects can take years. Archaeological sites might stall and only resume telling their story when the following discovery fits in like a missing puzzle piece. These unexpected discoveries have the power to upend long-held assumptions, reveal hidden truths, and even alter the entire meaning of an old place. Here are the 10 incredible discoveries that changed ancient archaeology. 10. De Palomares' tomb. One of the first Catholic priests to enter Mexico after the Spanish invasion in 1521 was Miguel de Palomares. When workers were digging a pit for a lamp post in 2016, they unintentionally came across his burial. Archaeologists found a sizable slab with the name de Palomares inscribed on it when they enlarged the area. The unique location for a Catholic priest's burial, below the floor of an Aztec temple, is marked by a 2-meter-long gravestone. Scholars have known for a very long time that the Spanish built churches over native religious places. The actions were described as a dominant demonstration of whose deity was superior, effectively symbolically replacing the native deities with Christianity. It seems that the Spaniards were a little more grounded at this point. The walls and foundations of the Aztec temples were strong and ready for use. When it was converted into Mexico City's first cathedral in 1524, de Palomares' particular temple's floor was simply whitewashed and otherwise left unchanged. 9. Victorian tastes. Construction in London exposed a portion of the Victorian palette. An ancient nightclub was demolished in 2010 to create room for the Crossrail station. Despite being from the 1970s, the club was actually built over an even earlier location. From 1830 to 1921, Cross and Blackwell operated a business nearby, giving archaeologists a glimpse at the goods that the Victorians favored. They discovered more than 13,000 jars below the former nightclub. The tastes left over included pots of mushroom catsup, jam, marmalade, and piccalilli. The factory's steam engines were powered by the cistern in which they were discovered until the 1870s, when a renovation of the warehouse turned it into a dump. Because of its size, uniqueness, and capacity to capture the era's tastes, the enormous hall is significant. After closing, the factory transformed into a movie theater in 1927, and then in 1976 it became a nightclub. 8. The Stirling Stones. Standing stones can be seen at the entrance to the Police Scotland Central Division's Randolph Field headquarters, which is located in Stirling. These were revered for a long time as 3,000-year-old monuments with a shady connection to a nearby historic cemetery. It turns out that the two might be commemorating a far more recent occasion. Testing using radiocarbon dated the stone sentinels closer to 1314. During that year, a noteworthy event did take place in the region. The Battle of Bannockburn saw an encounter between the English and the Scots. Under Sir Thomas Randolph's command, the Scots successfully changed the course of the larger English force on the first day. This prevented a planned attack on Stirling Castle and enabled the Scottish side to overcome their foe the following day in a famous battle. The standing stones, which resemble memorial plaques now, are thought to have been erected to commemorate Randolph's victory after he diverted the English. 7. The Edo Map. The Matsue History Museum specialists chose to re-examine Edo Hajimizu, an image of a historic structure in Tokyo, in 2017. The enormous castle known as Edo Castle, which belonged to the feudal family Tokugawa, was depicted on the 400-year-old map. The original design of Edo Castle was buried by constant remodeling until experts discovered that the old map had depicted it all along. It was a testament to a clan that did not take any chances with their own safety. It was drawn between 1607 and 1609, not long after the castle was finished. The architecture was fort-like and immensely protective. For control of the ruling class, Tokugawa Ieyasu, who established Edo, was at war with the Toyotomi family. The map showed a lot about the walls, mounds, and interior of the castle. To the south of the castle, one could see the most intriguing defense construction. The layout of the gates and walls was intended to prevent the enemy from advancing in a straight line and force them to zigzag. Sadly, this groundbreaking function has been lost to history. 6. House of Gates. Finding a gate in a location called the House of Gates shouldn't have surprised anyone, but it did. Northern Israel is home to the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Beit She'arim. The 2016 excavations that uncovered a massive entrance left the workers speechless. It included a tower and half of what appeared to be a fortified wall with doors. Beit She'arim served as a center for Jewish culture and legislation during the Roman and Byzantine centuries. The town was still little, though, and it had not yet been thought that it required defensive city walls. The specialists were so persuaded that they thought the word gates in the name of the antique object could not be literal. Even the name, Beit She'arim, which means court, was changed. The theory made perfect sense given that the town served as the Jewish Judicial Council's administrative center. Archaeologists had to reconsider the town's name and function after finding the magnificent limestone gates. Even the intriguing idea that the gatehouse is the initial ruin of an undiscovered Roman stronghold at the location suggests that it dates to the Roman era. 5. Kingdom of Rejd. In order to understand the significance of the rock carvings found in Trustees Hill Fort, the Galloway Picts project was launched in 2012. It restored a lost kingdom after their significance, or rather what scientists think they signify, became obvious. Rejd was not sought after when the Pictish symbols on the bedrock were originally discovered. They were specific to the region, which provided an intriguing archaeological mystery. The kingdom from the 6th century was also believed to be somewhere in Cumbria, though its precise position was unknown. The inscriptions strongly suggested a medieval royal castle rather than confirming the presence of a Pictish settlement in Galloway. The excavations turned up enough proof to imply that Trustees Hill was formerly Rejd's epicenter. If so, the kingdom's rediscovery is an amazing finding. The northern kingdom of Rejd was a dominant force, and Scotland's literature and history reflect this influence. 4. Mayan superhighways. In the northern Guatemalan jungle, there are old roads. It was first made known to the general public in 1967 when British explorer Ian Graham published a map of El Mirador that showed the roadways. The map covered an area of more than 150 miles. El Mirador previously held the title of largest city-state, with 1 million or so residents residing within its 833 square-mile borders. The causeways were challenging to analyze because they were covered in a dense rainforest. A laser experiment was initiated in 2006 to get around the cloaked forest canopy. Amazing 3D photos of the Mirador Basin's topography revealed enormous superhighways and other buildings, surprising even the research team. Pyramids, canals, terraces, and animal corrals in exquisite detail were exposed. The size of the 17-road network was the most fascinating finding. The causeways snaked over the landscape for up to 25 miles in some areas, reaching heights of 20 feet and widths of 130 feet. They were constructed between 600 and 400 BC and 300 and 100 AD, respectively. The advanced road network connected the vast state by enabling the movement of commodities and people. 3. Ancient construction site. Under the era of Pharaoh Ramesses the Great, the archaeological site of Cantir Pyrames originally served as Pi-Ramesse, Egypt's capital. There aren't any significant ruins of what was arguably the largest human community of the Bronze Age, which was established between 1300 and 1100 BC. German researchers employed a cutting-edge technique to discover the historic city's underground remnants. They magnetically surveyed the area over an amazing 16 years. Ancient mud brick structures have a distinct magnetic look from ordinary soil, so foundations and walls soon began to show. They were very large. Researchers thought they were looking at a construction site after closer inspection. The extensive repair work may have been planned around a complex of palaces and temples. A pit with mortar at the bottom was nearby. Touchingly, this layer contained a toddler's footprints. Another item was discovered in the pit, and it has the potential to alter the course of Egyptian art. Plaster fragments may seem insignificant, but these appeared to be part of a colorful fresco, which was practically unheard of during this particular age. 2. The Montezuma attack. An unfortunate renovation of the past occurred at one of Arizona's sites. The two structures are a part of the Montezuma Castle National Monument, which was created roughly 900 years ago from a limestone cliff. The occupant's disappearance was one of the Southwest's biggest mysteries for more than 8 decades. As part of the decommissioning routine carried out after the evacuation, evidence indicating the homes had experienced a serious fire was filed away. However, Hopi legends describe how their Sinagua ancestors were attacked on the spot and how burning was used as a weapon. Similar legends of their ancestors trying to drive the Sinagua away with fire are told by the Tonto Apache. The archaeological support for these accounts came from recent investigations. The years 1375 to 1395 are significant. There were still people there when the fire broke out, as evidenced by the production of pottery. It was initially believed that 4 bodies discovered together in the 1930s predated the flames, but a closer examination showed their horrific fate. 3 people had skull fractures. All of them had cuts and burns from just before they passed away. The abrupt departure can be explained by a terrible attack, although archaeologists are still unsure of what caused the incident. 1. Sahara castles. African people known as the Garamantes are mysterious. An expedition to Libya in 2011 to learn more about the enigmatic Garamantes was halted by civil strife. Researchers were able to get a clear glimpse of more than 100 fortified villages that belonged to the vanished civilization in a different attempt utilizing satellite photography. 620 kilometers south of Tripoli, walled cities and villages were deserted in the Sahara. The houses, which were skillfully built out of mud bricks and date to between AD 1 and 500, still have walls that may reach 13 feet in height. All prior knowledge of the culture originated in Jarma, the capital city of the Garamantes, which is located about 125 miles to the northwest. A strong African monarchy with a writing system, metallurgy, trade, and textiles was revealed by Jarma. Another impressive accomplishment was added by the Sahara fortifications. They made oases in the extremely dry climate where crops thrived. They accomplished this by pumping groundwater to the surface through a sophisticated network of underground canals. Unknown reasons for the stronghold's abandonment exist. Most likely, trade lines that collapsed with the fall of the Roman Empire and dwindling water sources were involved.